The Kundalini awakening in the Divine Feminine on the Twin Flame journey is like a whole, I don't even know. I have so many opinions, and this is also a really sensitive topic. I know spiritual psychosis is a thing. I think Kundalini awakening, like personally, I think it's different. And I also want to say, beyond the healing, connecting to the universe like this and God as a higher power is one of the greatest gifts of the journey. So even if you don't end up with your divine counterpart in this life, you have been given like one of the greatest gifts you will ever receive in any life, on any dimension, anywhere, because now you are connected to all that is. And you realize that everything is essentially the same thing in different forms. And I also just want to be like really mindful in pointing out that everyone's Kundalini experience is probably different. So anything I tell you about mine, take it with a grain of salt for yourself. And I would say use it more as just like a backdrop of knowledge and not necessarily like the exact things you're going to expect for yourself. For me, I was already highly spiritual before I even started this journey. Most of us are. You normally have to be at a certain frequency before you can even like come into contact with your twin in the beginning. But so I was already familiar with synchronicities and astrology, a lot of the spiritual things that are out there. Before my twin, I had the karmic relationship and then a series of very intense events sort of back to back that happened. And then my twin came into my life. Then we separated, and that separation, and I do think this is common for most twins, that separation, the initial like kickoff of the journey, that is what sends you into your Kundalini awakening for the DF. It's like your heart has taken on all of the trauma it can in this life, and you finally crack open, which feels like you're breaking apart and dying. A lot of people in the comments are saying like they're dying as they're going through Kundalini, and it's just like funny, like I it's not funny, but like I get it. Some of these symptoms I had during my Kundalini awakening were more signs and synchronicities on an extreme level, those like amplified. What also started to happen a little bit later, the synchronicities would happen in overlapping like different senses. So I would see words and hear them, like not like in my head, like someone would say a word that I was like looking at somewhere else, or like I would think a phrase or a word and then someone on TV would say it. So you start to get these like really specific timely synchronicities, not just like 222 and 1212. It's like next level. That's pretty cool. That actually still happens, and it's not as overwhelming anymore. I know the signs and stuff can be really overwhelming during Kundalini, and that will pass. The other thing that happened for me that was really special, and I know a lot of people are going to disagree with this, but this was my experience. I had a psychic medium tarot reading with a woman I had not met before, but that I really liked online, and that changed the game for me, and it just confirmed like a lot of my life. So it's just like stuff I already knew, but to have someone confirm it on such a deep level and to be able to see all of my shadows, it was just really cool and enlightening, and I really think that helped just the beginning of my Kundalini awakening. This didn't happen to me specifically, but a lot of people like think they're God or like Jesus reincarnated. Sometimes I still feel like I'm the chosen one, and I don't think that is the case. I just think like realistically we're all connected to God. We're all part of creator source energy, and so we have a little bit of that in us. But when you're activated into your Kundalini, it's off the charts, man. If you think you're gonna be like suddenly famous, or you're gonna like create something that's gonna change the whole world, and it's just like these grandiose things, that's part of it. Eventually over time you'll balance back out. You will do important things and you will help the world, but it's just going to be different than during that awakening, like how it feels. And the other thing that started happening was I started mirroring with people, friends, with my twin, with family members. Their lives all just started to like strangely sync up. I would be thinking about the same things as them at the same time, or vice versa. Like it's just that connection. Like you start to realize like you're on the same frequency as people. And I do think like a little bit of the telepathy picks up. The dreaming of the twins is part of the Kundalini awakening as well, I think, on the twin flame journey. And the dreams don't really stop. So, like I didn't have dreams, like intense prophetic dreams or dreams about him for like, the first 5 or 6 months. Last thing I'll say is like you kind of just know things. You already have clear senses. You're already really special if you're on the twin flame journey. You're probably psychic in some manner, whether you know it or not. All of that just gets louder, not in a scary way. Everything is released to you when you're ready for it, but it just becomes more clear. And it's really fun. I would say the Kundalini is really fun. And when it calms down finally, you will think you're losing your magic, but you're really just balancing out.